Power is perfected in weakness. There are very, very few men weak enough to be powerful. There are many men too powerful to be powerful. Power is perfected in weakness. No one is too weak to be powerful. Many are too strong. Embrace the suffering. It humbles you. It drives you in dependence to the Lord. And in the midst of your own weakness, you become powerfully strong. So Paul, in the middle of verse 9, says, "Most gladly, therefore, I will rather boast about my weaknesses, so that the power of Christ may dwell in me. Therefore I am well content with weaknesses, with insults, with distresses, with persecutions, with difficulties, for Christ's sake. For when I am weak, then I am strong." That's the culminating point. That's the lesson. That's the life lesson. Through suffering, the Lord humbles us, drives us to himself, pours out his grace, and in our weakness, we become strong. Samson was strong in weakness, crushed the enemies of God. Joseph was strong in weakness, rose to the throne of Egypt. Job was strong in weakness and saw the glorious face of God. I asked for prominence, God gave me humiliation. I asked for power, God gave me weakness. So, says the Scripture, count it all joy when you fall into various trials. Those trials have a perfecting work. And let me just say this for those who minister. We're not indispensable to the kingdom. I'm not indispensable to the kingdom. God isn't holding his breath that I continue doing what I'm doing so he can accomplish his eternal purpose, or you or anybody else. What God is concerned about, even in the case of the Apostle Paul, was that man's humility, that man's spiritual integrity. That's what God is concerned about in every one of us as believers. It's not the extent of our influence, it's the character of it. He wants us all to be honoring to Christ, who is the model of humility and power. Humility and power. No one ever humbled himself like Christ. No one was ever more beleaguered and besieged and attacked and assaulted than Christ. But in his weakest moment on the cross, he comes out of the grave in absolute triumph. It is through that same death to our pride that we rise to power in our weakness.